So if you're basing your entire existence on making someone else happy and you can't control their state in that moment, you're never going to win. Because you could do something today, like we go to the best restaurants on earth today, and my wife does a backflip because she's super stoked. We go there tomorrow and she's in a different state where she didn't want seafood and she wants fucking steak instead, and she's pissed. And now my entire existence is based on the fact that she's happy or not happy, and I've missed the mark.
Yeah.
And when you play that for too long, there is no win. So it's like, hey, I'm going to make me happy first. I'm going to love who I am first. It's not my responsibility to make her happy. That's her responsibility. As a collective, we be happy together. That's our responsibility. I'm not going to do shit to piss her off on purpose.
Yeah.
That's fucking dumb. Although I've done that too. Like you've probably done that too.
Yeah.
There's the big red button, and every now and then I'm like, push it, see what happens, and you fucking push it, and there's explosion. And
Everybody does that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Happy New Year. Happy 2024. Welcome to another episode of Season 2, episode of Purpose Over Pleasure. And I'm your host, Alex Payne, and today we have a special guest, an absolute savage, a man that I respect, admire, and look up to in ways, Mr. Byron Ovenstone. Thank you, brother.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
I'm
it's
pumped.
a pleasure, man. It's a
We're
pleasure.
gonna have a good time.
I know you have a very busy schedule prepping for the show. I know you guys notice the size of his arms. Yeah, but he's absolute savage, man. Thank you for being
sir.
here.
No, it's good to
I
be
love
here.
the shirt. Want to tell him about the shirt real quick?
Yeah, so this is the Agogi. It's one of the programs that I'm involved in. Online fitness, nutrition, mindset coaching company. Just turning men into savages, unlocking their potential.
Like yourself.
Yeah.
He means
Right.
it. He means business. Like he really does. You walk what you talk. You walk the talk. I like that.
Well, you see, the thing I had the biggest issue with was spending too much time on social media and watching how many people don't do what they tell everyone to do. Like, we had a guy who came to the project who coaches people on being hard. He does $1 million a month. So he's not a joke. Like, he's crushing. And our man does like 3 to 5 seconds in an ice bath just to get the footage, and then he's out. And I'm like, that shit pisses me off, bro. So if I'm going to get someone to do a workout or a program, I'm going to do that shit first. I'm going to lead from the front. I think social media is just, it's the dark space of the world where you can pretend to be anything and you don't have to actually be it. I'd rather just be it and then just record like my journey.
And that's what I like about you, man. You put it out there. When I'm following you on social media, like I can tell that you actually do the work that you talk about. It's one thing. That's why I've stuck with the program for a while. Not only just because it gave me results, because but I look up to you and Nate, and you guys mean business.
Thanks.
So when I hear guys say, "Well, this is tough," or "I'm not getting results," I was like, "Motherfuckers." These two guys gave you the blueprint. That's all I did. That's all. You guys gave me a blueprint, and I followed it. Yeah, it's work, but that's all I did. So it's like, you want the result, just put in the work. They spoon fed you.
Right.
And it boggles my mind. That's what sometimes when I go off on people.
Yeah, but it's that thing where they want a result, but they don't want to invest the energy and the time and all that it takes to get there. So it's like, oh, I want abs. Okay, cool. Well, then put down the donut, bro. And it's like, well, I like donuts. Okay, well, then you have to sacrifice something. Like, there's a give and a take somewhere. I like donuts too. I just don't have donuts every day anymore. I used to, and that's why I was 300 pounds and 40-something% body fat. Now, that's like, well, we put the donuts away, we put the pizza away, and I can actually respect and love the guy looking back in the mirror. It's not hard. It's not rocket science stuff. Like, there's not a single person watching this that doesn't know what good nutrition is and good workouts are. They just choose not to do it. It's poor decision making and poor discipline because they haven't felt the pain of being indisciplined for long enough. I did. I got to the point where I think we've talked about this a few times, but like, dude, I literally wanted to kill myself and tried multiple times. And it's like, okay, well, instead of killing yourself, why don't you just fix the fucking problem, which is you, the dude in the mirror, fix him. Once you fix him, it's easy.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We committed to doing that, and now I just hope other dudes do the same thing.
The question that I had for you, I'm glad you mentioned that 300 pounds, 47% body fat. What changed? Because the Byron I know now is the only Byron I know. I did not know you back then, but you're different. The reason why I think a lot of times I relate to you is because I think we come from different cultures, right? I'm Eastern European. Where are you from originally?
South Africa.
South Africa. So you have a very raw, real approach to people, to life.
Yeah.
And I love that. You know, you're authentic.
Thank
So I'm not offended by your raw energy. A lot of people are, and I love that about you. But Byron now is the only version I know.
Right.
What happened? What switched? What did you have to go through to become the Byron 2.0 that you are right now?
Well, I think Byron 1.0 was blessed, right? He got a long way through sports. So I was able to do a lot of cool stuff, and because I was gifted, I got a lot of opportunities that not a lot of people would get. So I got complacent, I got comfortable. I worked for everything I had, but there was a level of skill that got me through a lot of doors that wouldn't necessarily have got through otherwise. And then fractured my back twice in 2 places. That kind of kicked my ass. And I was like, dude, okay, what now? And I just went on Google and I said highest paying job in London, and it was financial consulting. I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. So I want to make a lot of money, and those guys make money. Reverse engineered it, did all the stuff, and then kind of made it. Started making very good money, and I was like, okay, cool, we've peaked. This is as good as it gets. Like, I make good money. I do all the cool stuff I want to do. I have all the cool toys. I'm going to enjoy this. And I went from like focused on process based and outcome based to just seeking happiness the whole time. So what makes you more happy than slamming a bunch of donuts and a bunch of pizza every day? Like, I fucking love pizza and donuts. So I did that a lot, and I started getting fatter. And then I started disliking who I saw in the mirror. And then rather than being smart and going like, oh, remember when you used to love you and what you used to do? It's like, okay, well, how do we avoid this? And then I just went down the vices path, which everyone goes down at some point. It's like, okay, well, now we drink a lot. We escape a lot. We do a lot of stupid stuff. And then, yeah, you just get to a point, man, where you're sick of it. And you're tired of blaming everyone else. And you're tired of doing the shortcuts and the stuff that is like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. Mm-hmm. It doesn't solve your problem, because I just wake up in the morning hating myself more. Now I'm more hungover. I'm fatter. I'm more unhealthy. I got high blood pressure, I got pre-diabetes, I got liver issues, kidney issues, and the list goes on. And it's like, dude, you're 26 or 28 years old and you're literally putting yourself in an early grave. Why would we do that? So then it just got to a point where it's like, okay, reverse engineer what used to work, what made you successful in sport, what made you successful in financial consulting. It's like, okay, we'll just craft what you want and then build a plan and reverse engineer it. And that's what we do with the Agogi, or previously with Battle Ready, is exactly the same thing. Hey, Alex, what's the outcome you want? I want to do this. I want to earn this kind of money. I want to make this kind of lifestyle. I want to have this kind of physique. Cool. This is the roadmap. You are here now. That's where you want to go. Plot the route between the two. Job done. And then it becomes super simple, because it's like good choice, bad choice. And that's where like a lot of, I think we get along very well. We simplify stuff. We cut out the gray. Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, there's no gray. It's either a good choice or a bad choice. And bad choice made more than once is stupid. Okay, so we're going to run this play, and donuts, bad choice. Salad, good choice. Steak, good choice. Pizza, bad choice. And it's just like running that. And when you do that for long enough, the results inevitably come. And that's what we did.
I noticed that a lot of times, ever since, I started really taking care of my body, mm-hmm. when people ask me how I did it, everybody expects an easy fucking answer. But you start talking about the macros, oh man, it's annoying. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I don't have time. And it's like every single fucking person, mm-hmm. Like, well, you ask me and I give you the answer. There's no fucking easy way. There's no pill.
Because they want you to go, here's the secret formula. This is the pill that I take. Mm-hmm. This is the TRT. That's my favorite one. Oh, it's because you're on TRT. Yeah. That's why you look the way you look. Bro, I wasn't on TRT. I was 400 pounds for 300 and some change pounds. Like, TRT didn't save me. I only got onto TRT when I was already 8% body fat and 180. Mm-hmm. Like, that's when I put TRT into the system, because I didn't realize how much bad I had done for how long. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, it's because you're on TRT, or it must be steroids.
You're juicing.
Okay.
I had this conversation with Nate, and like somebody fucking said to me, "Oh, you're juicing," and initially I got a little pissed off. So then I was talking to Nate, and Nate's like, "Think about it this way. It's a compliment.
Yeah.
It's a compliment, because when somebody says you're juicing and you're not, right? Because TRT is not even juicing. That's basic hormone.
We're getting back to levels.
It's people's inability to put in the hard work, the discipline, right? The dedication, and commit to something, and not wanting to do it. So their excuse to your results and their lack of work is you juicing. So essentially, yeah, motherfucker, thank you for a compliment. I must be juicing, and just refrain my whole idea about it.
Yeah, and then imagine if you were juicing, how good
Oh,
you'd
dude,
look.
oh,
It would be
fuck,
ridiculous.
dude, wait till I start taking testosterone. Like, I'm telling you, I was telling my girl the other day, like, babe, just wait till I start taking testosterone. I'll be fucking your size probably.
And some.
Yeah.
Because you already do the work and you've got good genetics, so yeah, man.
If you can
you'll
do
be-
all
you'll be a
that,
monster.
without just by basic discipline, and nutrition and fitness, I learned so much while I was in the program because I was one of those guys. Oh, I just gotta eat everything and I just gotta lift heavy. There's a lot more behind closed doors if you want to get the results.
Yeah. I mean, it starts always the same, right? It simplifies. It's like good choice, bad choice, and it starts with your macros and your protein intake and all that good stuff. And most people think they're training correctly, and they're not. They're doing the bare minimum. And when you look at their phone, they were in the gym for an hour, and 35 minutes of it was scrolling Instagram. It's like, that's not training. So let's put you in a place where we're training correctly, we're eating correctly, and then even like the micro stuff that people don't think about: sleep, water, micronutrients like your zinc, your magnesium, your potassium, your sodium. That, like, you can get really creative just from that side of things, let alone training correctly and like eating correctly.
Yeah.
So,
Do you think that modern day health system, and let's call it everything, right? Nutrition, everything they teach you. Oh, don't eat more than 1 or 2 eggs a week. Oh, don't drink or eat too much stuff with sodium. Like, I learned all of that as a bunch of bullshit.
Yes.
Like, I eat 6 eggs a day.
good.
I eat a shit ton of food with sodium. Drink, salt water, a lot of oils and butters, and all this stuff that I was taught that's not good for you is actually good and got me the results. What do you think? Do you think the modern day healthcare system is flawed, or?
No, I think they know exactly what they're doing, because I think they understand that the pharmaceutical space is exceptionally profitable, and they see you as a customer. So it's like, okay, hey, Alex is worth X amount of dollars to us. If we can get you on medication sooner, you're worth more money. If we take too long to get you on medication, you're worth less money. So now everyone's just a cash cow, right? And it's like, okay, well, how do we impact the most people with the most medication that we can? Cool. Let's put them in a room with fake lighting and lock them down every day. And if you dive into this, like, you can start putting your tinfoil hat on just on lighting. Right?
Yeah.
And how bad the blue light is for you and how it changes your whole psychology. But okay, we're going to do that. Then over and above that, let's go and lock you down and tell you that too much exercise is not good for you, and that too much sunshine is bad for you. And then over and above that, too much meat or protein is bad for you too. So now you're starving the body of a macronutrient that is actually the building blocks of testosterone, muscle mass, and everything else that most men want. And then all of a sudden, you start polluting their mind with the fact that masculinity is bad and that aggression is bad. Aggression is not bad. Uncontrolled aggression is bad. But let's say there's a situation that you find yourself in and you can be angry or you can be sad. Sadness doesn't get you a result. Sadness just gets you sitting there feeling sorry for yourself. Aggression is a movable force. If I get angry about shit, I'm going to do something about it. If I'm sad about it, I'm going to sit on the sofa and eat donuts. That's like how I see it. So my default is always default aggression, because then I know I'm going to get an outcome. I'm going to do something about the situation that I'm in. If I'm sad, I'm going to pick up the PlayStation controller and I'm going to escape reality and just try and feel my feels. Stupid. So when they start leaning you into all of that, very quickly you become depressed, anxious, suicidal, miserable, unfulfilled. You have no purpose. Like, you're seeking gratification and pleasure from all the stupid shit. So you eat more shit, you drink more shit, and then it's like, oh, here's a pill for that. Oh, you feel sad? Here's a pill for that. Oh, you're miserable? Here's a pill for that. Oh, you want to lose weight? Semaglutide. And it's like, why don't we fix the root problem? Yeah. And that's what we do. Yeah. And that's what's hard, is let's go to the root problem. Oh, your habits suck. Let's change your habits. Let's change your lifestyle. Most people don't want that. They just want, how do I like inject something so I have abs? And then I just continue doing the comfortable stuff and the easy stuff. Because, dude, doing 500 burpees is hard.
Fuck yeah.
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 And it's like, so I can do 500 burpees, or I can just have a pill that will like make me feel better. Like,
Magic.
I'm going to do the pill. But if every single time you were in a bad headspace, you dropped down and you did some burpees or some push-ups, that endorphin hit that you get would do better than the pill does. And it'll change a whole lot of stuff and a whole lot of trajectory that should be changed, but most people won't do it because it's hard.
Do you think it's simply because it's hard, or because you know people talk about motivation and this and that?
Motivation is bullshit, bro.
Yeah,
You know this.
motivation is definitely bullshit. Motivation is temporary, but it's discipline that gets you through it.
Yeah.
What is it? And you work with a lot of men, including myself. You know, you see the results. You've changed a lot of men's lives, and I'm pretty sure you also see a lot of men just fucking quit or not deliver on their promise.
More quit than change. Yes.
Exactly. So that's the unfortunate truth. Most quit. Majority does. So what do you think, in your opinion? Because you see the numbers, like you see the actual numbers. You see them doing the work, not just talking to them, but are they continuous with their habits, with their workouts, exercise, nutrition?
Yeah.
What is it that the reason why most of these men fail, in your opinion?
That's a good question. I think there's layers to that one, to be honest with you, man. And I think have they truly hit rock bottom? Because I think a guy who's truly hit rock bottom, he will build from there regardless. Like when I was at my lowest, I didn't need a support structure. I didn't need a coach. I didn't need anyone to pull me back from the dark. I was like, dude, I don't like being here. I'm going to do whatever it takes every single day moving forward to not be here again. So there was a level of motivation at that point. Like I'd hit rock bottom and I was like, this is not a place I want to live. I don't want to be here anymore. Then you get the guys who have had some rough patches, and if they have a good ecosystem around them, that's what we try and create. We try and create like a tribe or an ecosystem or a support structure. If you have that around you, they can stop you from falling all the way down to rock bottom, and they can kind of pull you back up. But even that is short term. It's short lived. Like unless you've actually truly experienced some real dick punches, I think the desire to self-destruct is always going to be higher than the desire to like really go the distance. Until you've truly been tested, until you've truly had everything borderline ripped away from you, then you're like, okay, I know that hurts and I don't want to be there again. Like we're type A type people, right? I hate losing more than I like winning. It's a very simple concept. So
you hate losing more than you like winning.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And I that's not a me thing. That's from Ed Milet. I heard him say it one time, and I'm like, fuck, that guy summed me up in like 10 words. Cool. And I understand me more now than I did beforehand. And it's like, okay, cool. So if I hate losing more than I like winning, I'll do whatever it takes to make sure that I don't get to rock bottom again, because that to me is the definition of losing. Like I can make a 7-figure business. That's cute and it feeds the ego. But like losing the 7-figure business hurts more than making it. So I'm going to make sure that I don't do that again. And I've done that before. So I'm going to make sure I don't do that again. And I think that's what happens. Most guys, they get comfortable, they get complacent, they get to a point where it's like, even if the wheels fell off, they have a catch, they have a net. Like, oh, it's okay, I can just sit on the sofa and escape. My wife will pick up the pieces or whatever. And that to me is not good enough. Like, I want my wife to never have to pick up the pieces for me. I think that's a definition of failure.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my wife and kids have to pay for the fact that I couldn't wake up this morning and do what needed to be done, that I couldn't be uncomfortable for long enough, and now they have to pay as a result. Like, no, dude, you're a dick. Like, that's a dickhead mentality.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think a lot of men, want to maybe be men, high value men, be the type of men that they admire and respect, right?
Sure.
But I don't think a lot of men understand the baggage that comes with it. Like every day we fucking wake up, we're handed a bag of bricks and we got to carry that load throughout the day. Same thing next day, year after year, decade after decade. So it's kind of like, I want to be all that, but are you fucking ready for it? Are you ready for the weight of bearing a family, the children, and being responsible for that? Like, I think about that. To me, I don't have kids yet, right? I'm only engaged. But I've acquired the responsibilities of the type of man that I want to be. And I was like, shit, well, this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
There's no way to go back now.
No, 100%. And it's one of those things where, like you say, man, there's no, like, return policy on this. Like once you're in, you're in, dude. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, free 30-day trial.
Yeah.
It's not Amazon Prime
Yeah.
or Audible where you get to try it out. If you don't like it, you give it back. Like once you've committed to this, you're in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's the scariest concept of all for most dudes, because then once they get that taste of it, they're like, ooh, oh, you mean I'd have to do this forever?
Yeah.
And that's where like I always revert back to, it's not a diet, it's not a workout plan, it's a lifestyle. If you can't do it for the next decade, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because anyone can do anything for a month or 2 months.
Yeah.
Like I can say to you, Alex, I need you to do I need you to figure out how to hold your breath for an hour a day for the next month and a half, 2 months. You'll be like, okay, cool, I'll break it into 5-minute intervals or whatever, and you'll figure it out and you'll get it done. Alex, you have to do 500 burpees a day for the next 30 days. You'd figure it out and you'll get it done. 500 burpees every day for the rest of your life? Probably not possible. There's going to be some shit that comes up that makes that impossible for you. So everyone's like, oh, January 1st, new year, new me. I'm going to work out every day. I'm going to eat clean. I'm never going to touch alcohol again. And they make these big sweeping statements. And then they're shocked that 2 weeks in, they can't sustain it because they've done too much too fast.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was 300 and something pounds, the first win for me was to stop drinking 24 to 38 cups of coffee a day and drink
Jesus.
more water. It's like, okay, I'm not going to do anything other than focus on drinking more water. Because I tried all of the new year, new me bullshit, and my diet starts Monday. This starts Monday, that starts Monday. And it's a fucking myth. You take on too much too fast, and your entire body just rejects you, and your headspace rejects you. Who do you think you are? You're not this guy. Okay, but I can trade off some coffee and drink more water. Sweet. So now I'm going to commit to drinking a gallon of water a day. Bro, when you drink a gallon of water a day, you don't need 30 cups of coffee. You're already pissing every 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. How do I drink a gallon of water a day? So I did habit pairing. Every time I brush my teeth, there's a glass of water. Drink some water. Every time I cook a meal, there's a glass of water. Drink some water. Before you know it, you're hitting a gallon. And you've stuck that win for 2 weeks. Now it's basically a habit. Sweet. Then I tagged on making better food choices. Okay, so now I'm drinking better, which means I feel better. Now I'm going to make better food choices. Okay, so instead of eating pizza every day, I'll eat pizza twice a week. Instead of eating donuts every day, I'll eat donuts twice a week. And just fine-tuning the process. And then before you know it, it's like, cool, now I live a lifestyle that I can sustain for the rest of my life. I still get to eat pizza every now and then. I still get to eat donuts every now and then. I still get to do cool shit. But at the same time, I didn't overcommit to something and then feel like a failure because I didn't hit the barrier.
Yeah.
I'm never drinking alcohol again. I'm never eating this again. I'm never doing that again. Dude, I haven't touched alcohol for years. But I never came into it going, I'm never drinking again. I just said, drinking doesn't serve me.
Yeah.
I don't feel good drinking. So I'm just going to cut it out. But if I fancy it, last night was New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Everyone else had a glass of champagne. I'm like, I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah.
But when you take it off the table completely, that there's like this psychology of, oh, I can't have it, makes you want it, which is weird. It's so stupid. Like human animal is so dumb.
Yeah.
But if I don't do that, then I don't have to worry about that. So it's like, okay, when I'm building out your plan, we're going to get you results in 30 or 60 days. But then how do we pivot that so that that result that you get is sustainable for the rest of your life? Or that you understand the concept of what we did on such a deep level that you can continue on your own. That's the biggest thing. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want a fitness coach every day for the rest of my life. Like, I want to transcend that to a point where it's like, I understand me as a human so well that now I level up and I go to the next stage. And maybe that's finance, maybe that's headspace, maybe that's meditation. I don't know. But I don't want to have a fitness coach forever.
Yeah.
I want to understand me and move past that, because that's levels.
I think you're more than just a fitness coach. You know, you're a mindset coach. You really care about your craft. And I think that's what makes you different from there's numerous fucking fitness coaches out there. And a lot of it about you as well that I like is your authenticity. You're not just fucking cookie cutter bullshit. So, you know, there's people out there who do a lot of cookie cutting, especially nowadays. I'm sure you notice a lot of these people, like, there's a whole wave of guys who look like Wes Watson now. Like, what the fuck were you guys before Wes Watson? All of a sudden, everybody's tatted up, everybody's bald, everybody's talking that way. Like, I've talked the way I talk all my life.
Right.
Pretty sure you too.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I've gone through periods where
Yeah.
I lost who I was.
Yeah.
And then I started trying to be like, So I think, actually, dude, we're about to get into something now. Because I think most guys are so curtailed by the women that they date or that they're with.
Yeah.
I got to a point, man, where I lost me so much because the woman that I was with at the time was trying to like curtail me so much that I forgot who the fuck I was in the first place. And then it got to a point, and that was one of the catalysts as well, where it's like, dude, you have to go. Like, I was engaged. I'm like, keep the ring, fuck off, I'm out. Like, I need me. I need to find me again. Because eating at Michelin star restaurants is cool. Driving supercars is cool. Having a penthouse is cool. Having the indoor driving range is cool. But, like, hating who you are, like, deep-seated hate for you, that's not cool, man. Gave it all back, and I'm like, dude, I need to find me again, because this shit, I can't do this anymore. And it was all because it started with like, oh, I like that you do this, but I don't like that. Okay, so I do more of that and less of this. And then it's like, oh, I like this and I don't like that. And I started crafting who I was to make her happy, not me. And I think so many dudes do that too, to where they get to a point where they don't even recognize themselves anymore, and they don't even know who they are anymore. And then it's easy to be manipulated. Over and above that, then you start playing the fucking game of pharmaceuticals and everything else like that. Bro, there's no coming back from that. Once you get too deep in it and too dark in it,
Once you're chemically dependent, yeah.
Yeah, you're a zombie.
That's crazy, man. I definitely agree with you. That's why it pisses me off. Like, I have a whole episode dedicated to that, the happy wife, happy life myth. Remember? I got a lot of shit for that episode.
Oh, they can fuck off. The same people who had a problem with that are the same people who are bitches.
Yeah. Fucking, like, that's such bullshit, man. Oh, what's the secret to happy marriage? Oh, make her happy. Like, no, motherfucker. You don't make anybody happy. You make yourself happy. Because if you make anybody source of your happiness, then your entire life depends on it. And then you're miserable. And like, that person can take everything away from you.
But have you noticed this as well, Alex, that certain times, certain things will make you happy. One day, an outcome will make you happy. The next day, you'll be less happy about it. So if you're basing your entire existence on making someone else happy and you can't control their state in that moment, you're never going to win. Because you could do something today, like we go to the best restaurants on earth today, and my wife does a backflip because she's super stoked. We go there tomorrow and she's in a different state where she didn't want seafood and she wants fucking steak instead, and she's pissed. And now my entire existence is based on the fact that she's happy or not happy, and I've missed the mark.
Yeah.
And when you play that for too long, there is no win. So it's like, hey, I'm going to make me happy first. I'm going to love who I am first. It's not my responsibility to make her happy. That's her responsibility. As a collective, we be happy together. That's our responsibility. I'm not going to do shit to piss her off on purpose.
Yeah.
That's fucking dumb. Although I've done that too. Like you've probably done that too. There's the big red button, and every now and then I'm like, push it, see what happens. And you fucking push it, and there's an explosion. And
Everybody does that, yeah.
Yeah. But for the most part, it's like, okay, cool. I'm going to make me happy. I'm going to do what I need to do. It's like the other day, she's like, will you go shopping with me? I'm like, sure. But you can go with me after 2 o'clock because I got a bunch of shit to do. I got to run some calls. I got to cold plunge. I got to do 25,000 steps. I got to work out. I will be finished by 2 p.m. And then we can go shopping if you want to go shopping. And she's like, well, I got nothing to do today. So, okay, I'll wait for 2. Sweet. But if I had dropped everything and gone shopping then and there and then missed the mark on all the shit that I promised myself, all the things I know I need to do to be the best me, then indirectly, I'm resentful towards her. I have this passive-aggressive bullshit towards her. And she just said, do you want to go shopping? Yeah. And I based all of my day around her not being clear in the communication and building out those barriers. Once I do this, I can do that. If you can't wait, shop on your own. Sweet. It's like, it's simple. Yeah. It's so simple.
Chris Barth said that last time we were having an interview. He said you have to be selfish in order to be selfless. And that stuck with me, man, because just like you, that happened to me. Just like recently, a good example of that was Memorial Day weekend. I was doing the Murph. I told her we were in Santa Barbara. I'm like, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do the Murph. Murph took a little longer because in the midst of working out, there's a couple of guys doing calisthenics, so I started recording a little video with them. So I took a little longer. So I come and she's a little grumpy, you know. I think we're gonna have breakfast. So I let her do a little yap. All right, cool. Took her out, we ate, now she's all cool and happy. I'm like, baby, you have to understand that had I not done that Murph, had I not put my body through that suffering, I would have been a complete piece of shit the whole day. Now I got out of my system, I sweat, it hurt, I did it. The rest of the day, I'm yours. Whatever you need, like I got my shit out of the way.
Right.
Now I'm with you.
Right.
You know, so, and that's what these fools don't understand. Like, you try to make somebody happy, and women do it on purpose. they will push that button.
Mm-hmm.
They'll test you like, oh, let me see if this motherfucker is stoic enough or he's weak. And eventually, she kept pressing, she kept pushing the buttons. And if you're weak, then she's gonna start to hate you, start to resent you. And then divorces and all that bullshit happens. And then dudes are like, whoa, what the fuck? I don't know. What happened?
Came out of nowhere.
Came out of nowhere. Let's look back at your fucking habits
Yeah.
of how you were as a man. Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah. How'd you show up?
Yeah. And I'm sure you deal with a lot of men who go through that.
Oh, all day. And the conversation gets boring, man, because it's like you can tell them and you can explain it to them, but again, they just don't want to run the play. They don't want to listen. And they're so ingrained in what they think that they're uncoachable. And I can help anyone, assuming that they're coachable. If you're uncoachable, no one can save you. You can't even save you because you're not even prepared to coach yourself. So it's like, as long as someone's coachable, I can help them. If they're not coachable, that's when I'm like, hey man, here's your money back. I don't have the energy to chase you and babysit your ass because nothing we do is going to work because you don't want it to work. Like, you could have joined the program and you could have done no work and you could have thought you knew better than we did and done whatever the fuck you wanted to do and not done what we asked you to do and not run the play. And then you could have blamed us, but you chose differently. You said, I'm going to run the play. I'm going to execute accordingly. I'm going to do the best I can with the information that I have. And holy shit, it works. Crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I went through that.
Right. But like, so many people have such a deep distrust for the process. And I understand why, because I did too. Dude, I hired so many coaches when I was over 300 pounds and so many fitness professional trainers and all this shit. And all they did was drip feed me just enough to kind of get a result, but not a good enough result to where I could figure it out on my own. And then fucking hats off to Mind Pump, bro. The three of those guys, game changed everything for me. Where I was like, I just went deep into their content and I was like, okay, these guys know what's up. Sal Stefano, absolute stud. Adam Schaefer, absolute stud. I listen to the shit that they talk all the time. Their business partner, Justin. And I just went all in. And I was like, okay, these guys understand the game and they're giving so much free shit for free, or so much content for free, sorry. I'm like, all of it. Give it all. I was literally consulting to companies with headphones in and I'm listening to every single episode that they've ever created. And I just absorbed everything. And I'm like, okay, now I'm going to do this. And now I'm going to do that. And now I'm going to do this. And it's like, oh, it's working. Crazy. No hiring of the coaches, no nothing. But I held myself, I built a plan and I held myself accountable.
Yeah.
Simple.
What would you say, and I think it's important to let the viewers know, how much time would you say a person should give themselves sticking to the specific habit or a routine for them to see the results? Like, I know what my time frame was. The first 2-3 months in the program, I was like, fucking Byron and Nate are full of shit. There was a time when I was like, these motherfuckers are full of shit. Because I'm eating as clean as I can. I'm counting as annoying fucking macros. I'm going to the gym. I'm doing these fucking... And then the results start to come in. A little more. I'm like, all right, these fools know what they're talking about.
Right.
I'm just going to keep doing the work. So what would you say an average Joe should be committing to as far as the time frame to start seeing the results?
If you're doing it properly and you're not missing and you're truly not missing, not the bullshit where the lads are like, oh, I'm tracking my macros. And it's like, what about that peanut butter sandwich you had at lunchtime and you didn't track that?
Yeah.
Like, if you're actually doing the work and you're actually tracking, 90 days, you should see something. You should see some kind of change, especially if you're doing like your progress pictures, your weigh-ins, your body fat, you're measuring. You will see some kind of result. And then you'll know whether you're on the right track or the wrong track. Most people, it's about a 6-month turnaround. That's what it was for me. It was like, for the first 90 days, I did a progress picture every day. I weighed in every day. I measured up every day. I was like, bro, not much is changing here. But also, when you think about it, because you see yourself every day, you don't see the micro changes. And then one day I put my suit pants on and they wouldn't stay up. And I'm like, oh, man. Okay. This is working.
Yeah.
I was still like 290 something pounds.
Yeah.
So on the scale, I didn't see much movement, but I had built muscle and I had torched fat in like basically a 1-to-1 ratio at that point. So it's like, oh, it is working. And then I pulled up day 1 and I pulled up day 90, put them side by side because I'd just been looking for day to day to day. And day 1 versus day 90, I was like, fuck. And then measure 1 versus measure 90. Okay. So I think 90 days to sort of 6 months is a good timeline. with some, assuming that your coach knows what they're doing and they're actually tweaking things along the way. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys looking for a good coach, find this guy, right? Find this guy. Matter of fact, let him know. Give me your Instagram handle, and I'll be dropping the link directly to your page.
Thank you.
And the program as well on all my platforms. But yeah, let them know how to find you. What's the best way to find you?
Yeah, so we're on Instagram at Byron Ovenstone, YouTube Byron Ovenstone, Twitter, Threads, all of them. Just Byron Ovenstone. You'll find me.
You're one of those guys who are always on it, dude. I remember every time I go on Threads, you and Steve are the two motherfuckers that post every day. Like you two are every day. Every day you guys are there. Like no misses.
I think I missed 4 days last year.
Really?
I was pissed about it too because I thought I had posted, and then I went back and I'm like, fuck, I didn't.
Yeah.
So I think I missed 4 days, but I don't miss on Instagram. Like Instagram is the one, because Instagram is the one where I can actually show real time what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I don't miss on that one. But like Threads and Twitter, YouTube, I go through phases where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be a YouTuber and I'm gonna do this content on YouTube, and then I'm like, fuck, bro, the editing and the time, and I feel like I'm saying the same stuff over and over again too. So I'm like, oh, fucking YouTube.
But I feel like the same way sometimes. But it's really, you have to understand. I have to understand that I'm gaining followers as I go. So the new followers that haven't seen my old shit, right?
Right.
Number one. Number two, it's really that simple.
It is.
There's no rocket fucking science, dude. It's the
is.
same shit I've been doing day one, you've been doing day one, and it's working.
Right.
Like, we don't have to sit there and tell them, okay, today in 2024, there's a new method. No, it's been the same fucking way for decades.
Right. This is not the Instagram algorithm that you got to figure out all the time, bro. It's like,
it's just.
So, did you ever do the food journal that I kind of talk about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, cheat code. You guys watching this will change your life forever. Write down every single meal that you eat, rate it 1 to 5. If it's a 1, you feel like shit. If it's a 5, you feel great. Identify the foods that are 5 and eat more 5s, less 1s, and holy shit, you'll start feeling better. You'll have better mental clarity. Everything gets better. You can tell someone that until you're blue in the face, but I bet of the hundreds of people that'll watch this, maybe 5 will do it. Maybe. Because they think it's bullshit and it sounds too simple. But if I overcomplicate it to where I'm like, okay, now you have to do this blood panel test, and then you have to do this, and then you have to do that, more people will probably do it because it sounds so more scientific and so much more complicated. So they're like, oh, that has to work. But a food journal will tell you all of what those blood panels could tell you, and it'll be more accurate because it's how you feel in real time. 20 minutes after you eat, if you need to take a nap, whatever you ate doesn't agree with you. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Like, eat less of that and more of the stuff that gives you energy, and now you don't need that afternoon nap at 2:00 in the afternoon because you feel good all the time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
For me, it's coffee, dude. I stopped drinking coffee early in the morning. I wait at least an hour and a half, 90 minutes. And I heard Andrew Huberman talk about that. He said, if you can just wait for 90 minutes after waking up to drink coffee, bro, afternoon naps and crashes disappeared. I don't take those anymore.
Yeah.
Well, now I don't have fucking time. But besides that, like, I don't have it anymore. It works.
Yeah.
So I wait an hour and a half to 2 hours before I start sipping on coffee, and it works. Just like that. I found out that I'm okay with rice. Like, I know you go to sleep immediately, right?
White rice? I'm
good with rice, man. I can eat a shit ton of rice, and I'm fully operational.
Yeah. Red skin potato, I eat that all day, and I don't feel nothing.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
And I think that's when I fall asleep.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's simple shit. Like, pen and paper.
Right.
Write shit down.
Right.
There's no rocket science.
Yeah. Get out your phone, free app, MyFitnessPal.
Yeah.
Track your macros. You can literally scan the shit
Yeah.
as you eat.
It's so easy nowadays. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. One thing I was gonna ask you, clearly for people who know you, or people who don't know him, you're different.
Okay.
Like, you're a different type of breed. You know, one of the reasons why I respect you, and I'm a different type of person. Right? We're not better than anybody else. We're just different.
Just function different.
Yeah, we function differently. So we're part of this tribe of men who are just different from a lot of people out there. What is it that you think makes you different? Is it your characteristics? Is it your DNA? Is it your rock bottom? Is it the trauma? Like, why? What's wiring Byron Ovenstone?
I think a lot of it comes back down to my dad, to be honest with you, and just holding me to a standard. I know there's a lot of guys who haven't had good fathers. I had a phenomenal dad. At the time, full transparency, and I've told him this, I thought he was a dick. I'm like, my dad is so unreasonably hard on me. This is some bullshit. But now, fast forward, I'm 34 years old, and I'm like, fucking, this guy set me up. Because now it's not about feelings. Now it's not about what's convenient. It's about, did you get the job done? Yes or no? Like, my dad would ask me to do something, and the answer was yes, Dad. And then if I didn't do it properly, there was consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And if I did it and I didn't do it to the best of my ability, you better believe there was consequences too. I think so many people now are so hardwired to do the bare minimum or find the shortcut to whatever. You think about all marketing is like 6 minutes for 6 minutes, 6 minutes for 6-pack abs, and 5 minutes for this workout and this for that. And it's always like it's the shortest possible timeline to whatever you can get. My dad was like, bro, just commit to the process. Like, hey, you need to do this, and this is how you do it, and you're going to hit 1,000 cricket balls a day.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to catch 1,000 cricket balls a day. You're going to throw 1,000 cricket balls a day.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't give a fuck if it's raining outside. Figure it out. I don't care that you don't feel like it today. I don't care that you're tired. Dude, you want to be a professional sportsman. You want to get paid for this. Do the work.
Yeah.
Get outside of your own comfort zone. Because I can promise you now, there's a bunch of kids out there who are working just as hard as you are, and they're not as talented as you, and they're going to make it over you because you're you're comfortable and you're okay with being comfortable. He's like, there's nothing about 100-mile-an-hour ball coming at you that's comfortable. Like, get hit in the chest at 100 miles an hour. It fucking hurts. Like, it hurts. He's like, so get good at facing 100 miles an hour, and then you won't get hit as much. Shock. Like, so he just ingrained this deep-seated desire to trust the process and to just do the work. So now, when we go back to, like, when I was talking about losing all that weight and stuff, build a process, who you are, where do you want to go, build the roadmap, and now it becomes, if this, then that. If I do this, this is the result. If I do that, that's the result. Which of those two do I want? I want this one. Cool, then do that. That's all I did. And that's what we get our guys to do. And I think it's a type A personality. I think I have this ability to just turn off my emotions. I have this ability to just turn off the need to feel happiness and like comfort and all of that stuff. It doesn't matter to me. Bro, I slept in a car for 8 months. I think I give a fuck about a comfortable bed. Like, if it means tonight that I don't sleep because I have my high, medium, and low priority list, and I don't go to bed until all of the high is done, and if the high doesn't get done, and tomorrow morning happens, my alarm goes off at 2:30, and I'm still awake, bro, it's a new day. I don't give a fuck that I didn't sleep yet. We're in the gym in half an hour, and we run the play again. And then we continue with the high, medium, low list. And hopefully this time I'm more efficient at what I'm doing, so I can get some sleep. But as soon as you start cutting corners and giving yourself that grace that everyone gives themselves so freely, that's when you start falling back into old patterns. That's when you start falling down into that comfort zone of just enough. And I never want to be that guy that, I hate that what if mentality. What if I had just done a little bit more? What if I had tried a little harder? What if I had just finished what I started?
You ever burn out?
Sure. I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm tired, but that doesn't change things. You're tired. You still do it up. Like, I use this example all the time, bro. It doesn't matter how tired you are. Someone kicks in your front door. It doesn't matter what kind of day you had. You have to handle that situation. Right? No one else is coming to save you. You pick up the phone, you phone 911. They're 6 minutes out. Bro, you got to handle that situation for 6 minutes, regardless of how tired you are. So, what's different between me going to the gym and having to handle someone kicking my front door? So, to me, I just put it under the same umbrella. It's uncomfortable, it's inconvenience, but it has to get done anyway. Or am I going to leave it to my wife, who's fucking 5 foot nothing and 100 pounds wet? Like, what's she going to do?
Yeah.
Not a hell of a lot. My 8-year-old son, he thinks he's handy with a knife and he can do jiu-jitsu. Like, bro, I will literally, like, you'll be in the way. You'll be causing a problem. Like, you just go, take your sister, go upstairs and hide upstairs somewhere, stay out the way.
Yeah.
Because you being down here will be a problem. So, I'm very extreme in the way that I think. And it serves me, man. It serves me. Like, I literally, and I've heard Steve say this before, and he does a talk on the project, one of the days where he talks about kicking his shoes off when you're not allowed shoes upstairs. And the one day he was like toying with the idea. He's like, bro, I just laced up my boots and now I got to get back upstairs. He's like, fuck it, like no one's gonna know. Everyone's outside, no one will know. And he's like, but I will know, and the universe will know. And he's like, I could do this, and this could be the catalyst that turns my daughter into a stripper. And he's like, that's how extreme his thinking is. And mine's very similar to that. And that's why I think we get along so well. It's because I'm like, I could push the pause button on this. I could shortcut this. But then the outcome that I think about off the back of it is so extreme. I'm like, cool. Now I'm going to go home and I'm going to fight with my wife over something super stupid. She's then going to find another husband and she's going to take the kids. And I like play out this way over the top, never going to happen scenario. And it's like, I don't want that outcome. So I'm just going to I'm going to kick my own ass in the gym, leave all my anger and frustration here, and I'll go home the best version of me. So, bro, I just put feelings to one side.
The magic of a workout, bro. So much can fucking change. Like you can be. I've had times where I was an absolute fucking asshole, and I was like, I need to go to the gym for the sake of, like, my relationship right now.
This was yesterday for me.
Yeah.
Sundays I don't train. Normally Sundays is my day to just do some cardio. And yesterday, 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm ready to stamp on throats. And everything is pissing me off, bro. I don't know what happened. It was just one of those days. And I'm like, I'm ready to fucking end everyone. And I'm like, my wife's like, you need some time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to the gym. And I storm upstairs. And I fucking get my gym bag. And I storm downstairs. And I slam the door and everything. And 90 minutes later, I roll back home. And I'm good.
It's therapy, bro.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than that. I'm a believer in therapy. This has done a lot for me. It helped me discover a lot of things about me, helped me deal with a lot of demons. But bro, Iron Gym does not lie, man. It's there. Good days, bad days. It's the same way. It doesn't give a fuck how you feel. Doesn't care if you're sick or not. It's there. It's like pure form of therapy. And I think that's what man's supposed to be doing, because that's what we've been doing since the beginning of times, just doing hard shit. It makes you feel good about yourself. I don't care if you watch porn or you watch, binge watch TV or play video games. That shit doesn't make you feel good long term.
Nope.
It's a temporary fix. And I've been that guy, womanizing, drinking, partying, playing video games. Like you saw my bar, right? Bro, I've been collecting this shit for over a decade. Now I don't know what to do with it. Right. And I know I'll be moving from this house. I don't want to have to fucking haul all that liquor to my new house, because now I'm not going to drink it.
Right.
Like, why? Why did I spend so much time doing this dumb shit? That's, first of all, effort. Second, it's money. Third of all, like, if I think about putting all that alcohol in my body right now, I'll die. Right. Like, why? Priorities change.
That, and also I think it's the people you're surrounded with, because for the longest time I was surrounded by people who were impressed by that kind of thing. Now that the people I'm with aren't impressed by that anymore, so it's not my default. Now I default to other things. I would rather have abs than a Lamborghini. I will have both, but like if I had the choice and someone's like, hey, you can have abs or you can have a Lamborghini, I'm like, fuck the Lambo. I've driven enough Lamborghinis to know that it's just a car. After the 5th time you drive it, it gets you from A to B. Yeah, you turn some heads in the street, but who cares? Like, I walk on the beach with my shirt off, or I go for a walk in the afternoon when the sun's out and I take my shirt off. Bro, that gets more attention than a Lamborghini.
It does.
And there's more people with fucking millions of dollars in the bank and less people with abs than ever before. Like, the likelihood of you being a millionaire is significantly higher than the likelihood of you having abs.
I know the study you're referring to. It's actually been a study done.
Yes.
Yeah. It's crazy.
1 in 26,000 people have abs, and like 1 in 10 people are a millionaire.
There's more millionaires than people with abs.
Yeah. So abs every day. Because you can't buy abs. You can do the liposuction, you can do all the shit, but if you don't have the fundamentals and you don't have the discipline and you don't have the consistency, you're not going to keep them. How many people I know that have done the gastric surgery where they shrink your stomach or whatever that shit is?
Gastric bypass?
They fucking take half of it away, and like a year later they're fat as fuck again.
Yeah, because that stomach stretches.
Right.
It stretches.
And because they didn't change the fucking the person in the mirror. They didn't go to the root cause of their problem. So, like, this, to me, when you take your shirt off, that tells me who you are. That tells me how disciplined you are. That tells me how consistent you are. That tells me just how seriously you are about you and this game called life. Because I could buy a Lamborghini tomorrow. I could have $3,000 payments a month and I could drive a Lamborghini. I can't pay $3,000 a month and have abs. It's not fucking possible.
Yeah.
So the abs to me is higher on the food chain every day.
Yeah. I had a guest here, triple board certified doctor, Dr. Akash Bajaj, and he actually deals with a lot of hormone replacement, stem cells, peptides, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But what I was fascinated about is that when he has his clients, right, and he turns down more than he accepts, and he said, what I start working on their daily habits, because they all come into him, hey man, I'm athletes, CEOs, etc. I want some peptides, I want some hormones, fix me. And it's like, hold on, before we get there, let's check under the hood. What are your daily habits? What do you eat? Do you work out? Do you meditate? Do you drink water? Like, what do you do in a day-to-day life? This boring, monotonous shit that nobody wants to do.
Right.
And then once he optimizes them, he moves on to, okay, now we can add some TRT or some peptides. What are the daily habits that make, Byron Ovenstone the way he is? Like, what is it that you find successful, that boring, monotonous shit that you do every day that makes it so much difference in your life?
I have the same morning routine every day. I wake up the same time. I work out. Only day I have off now is Sundays. But even then, I'm still doing some kind of workout. It's just not going to the gym. So it's basically the 4 daily non-negotiables I preach to you guys every day. Work out, drink your water, some kind of cold therapy, and track your nutrition. Because those are things that you have 100% control over. I can't control what happens after 6 a.m. when my daughter's awake and she decides to be a psychopath today. I can't control that, but I can control everything that happens before 6 a.m. when I wake up to she wakes up and how I play that play. So a few things I'm going to add this year is definitely things like meditation. I'm going to work a lot harder on my mindfulness and like my gratitude. I'm a very grateful person, but I can also see where I'm dropping the ball in a big way with it. So that's 2 areas I'm going to work on hard: meditation and mindfulness or gratitude. But dude, I don't think there's a secret formula that works for everyone. I think you've got to figure it out for yourself, and see where you get the best results on time invested. Like Craig Valentine, for example, he's a massive advocate of not working out first thing in the morning. He's like, I'm my sharpest when I wake up. Why would I waste that energy working out when I can move the money needle or the business needle the most? Fair enough. Bedros, another one. He doesn't work out till like 10 a.m. in the morning. He moves the money needle first. I feel phenomenal when I wake up, but I also know that I'm fucking not in the right headspace to make good money decisions yet. I need to beat my ass up for a bit and like get that out the way, wrestle some demons. Once I've got them done, then I can go into finance and family and all that stuff. So it's what I think you got to like take a good hard look at them in the mirror and see what matters to you most. Like how are you as a person? Because I think everyone from here down is the same. Everyone from here up is very different. Learned that from my coach, Andrew, actually. He's like, bro, we're all the same down here. Up here is what fucks us all up.
It's a human animal versus a conscious human.
Right. So it's like, learn this. Understand who you are here. Once you understand this and how you show up and what matters to you and what moves the needle for you, then you build your day around it. And then from there, it's rinse and repeat. And then just becomes so... I said something on Instagram one time that got me a lot of heat, but a lot of laughs at the same time. I was like, I want to become a hitman's wet dream. Where it's like, if you put a hit on me, the guy has to watch me for 1 day and he knows exactly what I'm going to do tomorrow and the next day and the next day after that. Like, that's the outcome that I'm shooting for. I want to be so disciplined and consistent in everything that I do that it's like clockwork. And I've done that. It's in my calendar. Like, I'm supposed to be walking now, but we're shooting a podcast. But it's literally everything is in my calendar. Boom, boom, boom. So all I'll do is I'll move my walk to later and it'll take over something else. But that's what it is, man. It's just like figuring out who you are, what's important to you. And I think where most people drop the ball is they don't actually understand what's truly important to them. They say, oh, my family's important to me. Is it? Is that why you sit on the sofa playing games and drinking beer all night? Like, your family can't be that important, bro, because you're neglecting them. You come home and you neglect them. So it's like doing that real hard work on yourself and understanding you first. Once you understand you and what's important to you, then it's just a case of reverse engineering it to make it as efficient as possible.
I love it. I love it. I noticed that about a lot of successful people, including you as well. It's the same, doing the same routine every day. Even Pedro said at one time, like, if somebody wanted to kill me, they know exactly where to find me. Like, he even drives by the same Starbucks every day on the way to work to get his coffee, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same for all these successful individuals that I listen to. They have that routine. It's doing something that works, that produces results.
Yeah.
Now, another question that I had for you, and I'm sure you noticed it for amongst a lot of men, right? Let's say, are you able to talk about the project a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. I'm curious. What is it that, because it looks all fine and dandy on the outside,
Sure.
right? But only a few men, including yourself, because you went through the project.
Right.
You're one of the first classes, right? The initial
Yes,
classes. What is that breaks men most of the time? Because I know you guys mentioned that it's not so much the physical stress.
No.
A lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some studs, I mean, that go in there. I see some dudes that go in there in phenomenal shape,
Mm-hmm.
but they fall out. And just like, amongst Navy SEALs or even in my field sometimes, a lot of guys who are not so stud looking, they last and they get through it.
Yeah.
So what is that breaks most men? Because I think it applies to life as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's always the same thing. It's always headspace. And it's the fear of not knowing what's next. And I think if you can put that to one side and you just... The project, I think, is a unique thing in that you have zero control, dude. From hour 0 to hour 75, you literally have no control. You don't get to decide when you do anything. Like, we have full control over everything that you do. Most people have a very tough time with that. And when you don't know what's coming next and all you're doing is just getting a beat down, and then it's like, oh man, when does this stop? And it's like, there is no finish line. I think most people get very wrapped up in their head then, rather than thinking like, I just got to make it through this evolution, or I've just got to do one more step. It's like, oh, there's too much. It's too hard. It's too this. It's too that. And then all of the trauma, all of the narrative, all of the demons, they come to the surface and they start really playing havoc and playing games with you. Versus like me and Nate, we've had this conversation in depth. Like both of us, we were just like, one more step, one more step, one more step, one more push-up, one more burpee. And as long as I could do one more, once I did it, it's like, oh, that wasn't so bad. I'll do one more. Oh, that wasn't so bad. I'll do one more. And I think that's where, like, dude, I talk about this all the time. Like, taking dick punches as a business owner. Bro, you just get hit from every direction all day. And when you think you've got it on lock, something from there comes and takes you out. And you're like, bro, I didn't know that was even a thing. Mm-hmm. Holy shit. And it's like, okay, well, I just have to survive one more day. And actually, Nick told me this a while back. He's like, dude, you know why the Jewish people are so successful? He's like, because they've committed to just outlasting everyone. They don't have to win. They just have to be here the longest. Mm-hmm. And he's like, if you can wrap your head around that mentality, that I just have to be here forever. And that's like the head. And I realized that that's the headspace I got into when I was in the project. I was like, oh, we're crawling in the pit? Cool. I guess I'm crawling for the next 75 hours. Whatever. Who fucking cares? It's like, this is what we do now. This is where I live. Oh, we're not in the pits anymore. We're in the ice tubs? Sweet. I guess I live in an ice tub now. For 75 hours, I just live in an ice tub. And that's all I do with business as well. It's like, well, I guess this is where I live. I just take dick punches, I figure it out, and I move forward. Cool. That's the play.
Patrick and David talk about that, the compounding effect of doing the same shit, just lasting one more day.
Yeah, and it's like the dividends that are paid through discipline are insane. If you can just be incredibly disciplined, and disciplined in stuff that moves the needle. Like, I've talked about this too. I've said most people are consistent, but they're consistently stupid. They do consistently the wrong thing over and over again. That was me. Yeah. So it's not like I'm throwing stones or judging. I did a lot of dumb shit consistently. And it's like, okay, well, this is stupid. Let's do consistently good things. And it's like, once you get and that's when consistency becomes discipline. And once the discipline locks in and you're doing stuff that moves the needle in the right direction and you're no longer busy, but you're productive, now all of a sudden it's like, okay, I can live here because I can see the return and I can see the movement. if you work out every day to the best of your ability and you do it to the, like, you actually train correctly and you actually track your nutrition correctly and you're disciplined in just those two things, you can't not see results. It's like impossible. Then you throw in the micros of better sleep, better micronutrients. You start fucking with red lights and all of that stuff. Now all of a sudden you see all of that pay dividends as well. And it's like, okay, this is working. I'm going to do more of it. But most people don't even give themselves the opportunity. They quit before it even starts because it gets inconvenient. And most people just don't want to do shit that's inconvenient. Waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, it's inconvenient. I would rather just fucking roll over and hug my wife.
I don't know how you do that, man. You're the only fucking guy that I know that wakes up at that time, like in person. Like I know I wake up hella early before the sun is even up. A lot of my business partner, my mentors. But you're the only fucking guy that wakes up at the time where most people go to sleep, like 2:30. That's an ungodly hour, bro.
It's stupid.
I don't even know how you have energy to hit the gym at that time. This is the time when your body's supposed to be resting.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest things my coach, he's like, bro, you need to sleep. He's like, you don't sleep. And I'm figuring it out and we'll work it out and we'll make it happen. But, dude, I got so, like, Elliot Hulse did a talk once and he's like, I understand the concept of sleep. He said, I understand why it's important. He's like, but bro, the shit that I want to do is so big and so powerful and it makes me so hungry. He's like, I don't want to fucking sleep. So he's like, I sleep when I have to and I do just as much as I need to and not a second more. And I feel like I'm in that place right now where I'm like, dude, I want to do so much stuff and I want to move so many needles and I want to leave such a legacy. And so like my backstory, bro, where I lived in a car for a while and fucking ate 4 meals a week for.
Yeah, man, talk about that. I think it's fair they know what the struggles you've gone through.
Sure.
Please.
So when I fractured my back twice in 2 places, I obviously that was my career, came to an end. And all the people that had promised that I was going to live and work for them and have opportunities with them and all that, they disappeared just as quick as my career, right? It was all just bullshit talk. So I realized very quickly that this was like, man, you have to save yourself. You're running solo here. So on the Google, like I said, financial consultants get paid shit tons of money. Cool. I got no money. Because as much money as I was making playing sports, I was spending. I had no financial literacy. I didn't get taught about money at all. So as I earned it, I spent it. And I was like, shit, now I'm at zero and I don't know what to do. So a friend of mine, he ran a kill house in not the kill house like you guys know, but or an abattoir where you like kill birds and fucking pigs and shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, bro, we're doing this Christmas thing. We need some extra hands. Do you fancy it? I was like, what do you get paid? He said $2 or £2 per bird. Bro, I massacred the fuck out of that place. I like lit that place up. I'm like, I need money and I just see dollar bills or pound bills. You guys are fucked. So I just smoked a bunch of birds, scored away enough money to then fly to the US, worked over here for 8 months or 9 months driving big trucks. Drove trucks from here, from Texas to Montana, delivering mining equipment and farming equipment and shit. Put a bunch of money away. Flew back to the UK. And that's when I started studying. But I underestimated the cost of living in London. So I bought a car for $300 and basically slept in my car while I studied. And then I found a company that would employ me. And I was driving courier. So I would pick up parcels and drop it somewhere else. And pick up another one and drop it somewhere else. And I did that and studied and slept in my car and all that shit. So circling back now, why that's important and why I'm so hungry where I am now is because that made me who I am. It defined who I was, but I never want my kids to be in that position. Like I didn't have to be, and I chose to be. My parents could have quite easily fronted me, and half of the time they didn't even know what the fuck I was doing. I was like, I'm just running this thing solo because I'm 20. I think I was 23, 24 at the time. And I'm like, I'm not running back to mom and dad. There's no fucking way. Like that to me was losing. So I'm like, okay, we're not doing that. We're gonna figure this out. And unless the shit really hit the fan, then I can run back to mom and dad. But unless that, like, this is just uncomfortable. This is just a little bit of, like, whatever. Figure it out. But I never want my kids to be in that position. I want to be able to give them every opportunity. And if my son wants to go to university or he wants to set up a business, like, there you go. Work for it and there'll be some criteria in place that makes him fucking sweat and bleed for it. It's not just going to be gifted, but sleeping in a car for 8 months and eating 4 meals a week, bro, that's some fucking rough shit. That's hard. There's like levels to hard, and that for me was real hard. So, especially in North London, where there's like a little bit more gang related shit. And you're like,
dude, London, you guys have a fucking infestation with gangs, especially knives and stabbings. Like, that's the only country I think that's the highest number of stabbings.
It's unpleasant. There was a few times when I would sleep in the trunk of my car because I didn't want anyone to see me in the front, just in case. So I was like, put the back seats down and I wouldn't clip them all the way. And I was in the trunk. Yeah. Like, bro, I don't want my kid to do that. As much as it grew me and it molded me and it made me uncomfortable and it made me realize that there's levels to this game and all that shit. Like, he doesn't need to do that.
But let's clarify something, because I remember the phrase that says, show me a great man who's the son of a great man. Most of the time, people that have accomplished significant things in their life, their children don't follow the same footsteps. Yeah. So I'm sure you're still raising your children in a way that they have to work for their shit. They have to compete. They have to put in the work. They have to stay disciplined. Not just like, okay, I'm going to acquire all that, the wealth, the status, so that they're going to be comfortable for the rest of their lives. I'm pretty sure that's not how you're raising them.
Oh, no. Like, if my son wants to play video games, he has to earn the time. Yeah. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. You want to play 20 minutes of games, you will read 20 minutes of education, and then you've earned 20 minutes of game time. And as soon as my daughter is of age where she can start doing some stuff like that, it'll be exactly the same play. But, yeah, I mean, my dad's a gangster, bro. My dad is hard as fuck. And he ingrained that in me. And I will do the same for my son and my daughter. Because there is nothing more disgusting to me than the entitlement that I see in so many kids today. And it's like, bro, you're so ungrateful. And you're so gifted in what you have. And the amount of kids that are just so oblivious to what the rest of the world has to do. And I live in Orange County, bro. So it's like there's money there. Yeah. It's privilege there. And the level of just entitlement pisses me off. And if my son or my daughter became like that, I would kick them in the fucking teeth. Because I just can't stand it. Just can't stand it. Like, they will earn everything. They will work. They will understand the value of money. They will understand what it takes to be where they want to go. And sure, they have it lucky, and compared to most, like, they got a roof over their head, 3 meals a day, fucking all the snacks they could ask for, all of the cool shit. But at the same time, like, hey kid, you want a fucking VR? You'll earn that shit. And then you want to play on it? You will earn that shit. Because the moment you just gift them things, the value becomes zero. And then it's expected. And that's when you get slippery slope of... And I fell into that when I was at university, because when I did my MBA, they said to me, well, once you graduate, you're guaranteed a $500,000 a year job. And then the $500,000 job didn't find me. And I'm like, what the fuck? All these assholes told me I was going to make $500,000 a year, and no one's fucking throwing $500,000 at me. 300 interviews later before I landed a consultant.
300 interviews.
300. Put your suit on and go sit in front of someone. 300. Most people would have quit after 10.
Probably 5.
Right? 300 later, bro, and we're still fucking running. I think it was 303 interviews. I got it in my inbox folder.
I give you props for that.
Dude, but like, that's the tenacity and like the work that I want my kids to have. Like, when they've set their mind to something, there is no off button. I was going to become a financial consultant come hell or high water. Yeah. And it's like, cool. Okay. And I remember I went home one weekend because I wasn't eating and my mom could tell I was in a bad place. So she paid for me to like go from London to Peterborough where they were living. So I got on a train and she like basically took care of me for the weekend and fed me up. And I was like bitching and moaning at my dad. And my dad was like, you've done like 100 interviews, bro. Shut the fuck up. He's like, 100 interviews and you're ready to pack in the towel. He's like, is that what this dream is worth to you? 100 no's. Really? And you're going to quit?
Yeah, that's real.
I was like, fuck. Man's got a point. It's like, I was prepared to sell out at 100. Why? If it's that important to me, there should be no number. Yeah. Just be a case of keep running the play until it's done. And that's what I do now. Like, okay, 3% body fat. I don't give a fuck if it takes me a year. But it's not over till it's done. Yeah. My son wants this. It's not over till it's done. My daughter, when you get of age, you want that. You'll get it when the job is done. And it's like, because let's say you work for someone. They're not just going to give you a raise because they like who you are as a person. Like, you have to bring value and skill set to the table. Same applies. Like, bro, bring some skills, bring some value, like, go above and beyond, and prove that you're worth it. And then he will literally stomp on every single kid's throat. My daughter will stomp on every kid's throat. Why? Because they've been ingrained to understand that hard work gets rewarded. But not only hard work, smart work. Because there's a lot of people who work really hard that make fuck all money and have fuck all value. It's like, okay, so we have to juggle the two.
Yeah.
And that's what and I get it wrong all the time. I'm not a good parent. I try my best, but I fuck it up. I'm not a good husband. I'll try my best and I fuck it up. I don't think there's such a thing as a perfect parent or a perfect father or a perfect husband. I fuck it up every day. But it's not through lack of trying.
Yeah, as long as you try, man. Nobody's perfect.
No.
That's the beauty of being a human being. You know, you make mistakes, but you learn. But what makes you a piece of shit if you do the same mistake over and over and over again?
That's a choice at that point.
That's a choice, yeah.
That's a choice. Now you're just a dick.
I remind myself a lot of times when, you know, some of the podcasts do well, some of the episodes don't do well, some shorts blow up, you know, very few, most of them don't, right? So I'm like, a lot of times doing the next one, and what keeps me moving forward is that I realize I would go back to like BK's show, right? Like 8 years ago, or Chris Williamson, like Modern Wisdom, 4 or 5 years ago, Patrick B. David, like 4, 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
They've been doing this shit consistently for years. Who the hell am I to expect to blow up in 25 episodes?
Yep.
So mentally, I'm like, I'm going to do this shit for 5 fucking years straight. Every week, consistently, for 5 years. And I'll be damned if I miss a week, right?
Right.
Like, because these guys, they're blowing up because they've been putting this work for years, for decades sometimes.
Yep.
So I got to get to that level first before the universe will be like, all right, Alex is worth something now.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to him.
He's paid his dues.
Yeah, he's paid his dues.
Right.
And what boggles my mind is when I was looking for a podcast name for my podcast, right?
Yeah.
I had the whole list written down. And one day I go on YouTube and I start looking for a name. And I'm like, Taken. So like a couple of dozen names down this, it's all taken. But guess what? Every single channel, 1 or 2 episodes.
Yep.
1 or 2 episodes.
Yep.
And it's done. Like these people would start something, take a beautiful podcast channel name, post 1 episodes, and then they're done.
Yep.
Like, you didn't just fuck it up for yourself.
Yeah.
You now took something meaningful, used it, and wasted it.
Right.
So, but at the same time, this is what I learned. All these people, if that's the majority of people, and I will last for 5 years, I will crush them.
All day.
I will crush the market.
All day.
You know, and that's what I realized.
And it's exactly what I'm trying to explain to my son. My son's like, I want to make a YouTube channel. I'm like, cool. You will make a video a day for 30 days. From start to finish. From recorded to edited to finished product. And you will show me. For 30 days. And if you can do that, now you have 30 weeks of content already batch prepared.
Yeah.
And then we go from there. Dude, the guy lasted like 5 days. And he's like, I have nothing more to say. I'm like, exactly.
It's work.
That is exactly every single person that starts a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That is every single person who starts a podcast. That's every single person who starts a business. The idea of it is always cute and sexy. Once that fades and the reality sets in, it's different. Everyone loves the idea of having abs or having the fucking veins down your forearm. It's all cute and fun until it comes time a week later when the body hurts and you're hungry and you're tired and now you have to get to the gym again. And your legs have just recovered and it's fucking Wednesday, so it's leg day. And you're like, bro, I can still feel in there that there's still some like trauma and I'm about to beat these bitches up again. Fuck that.
That was me yesterday.
Right?
Last workout of the year, man. I was like, went out with the bang, dude. Hit 7 PRs, but I was happy. Yeah. Wobbled home, but I was happy. Yeah.
But that's it, man. It's like, it's who's prepared to turn up for the longest and actually do valuable stuff.
Yeah.
The rest is just entitlement and ego. It's fucking obscene. It's fucking obscene. But we've ingrained ourselves and we've ingrained our kids to be the same. Everyone gets a trophy. My son got a participation trophy for fucking soccer. We didn't go to the ceremony.
Really?
No chance. And then he's like, can I go get my trophy? I said, no. Why? because it's a fucking participation trophy.
I love
bro.
it, man.
That's
love
not
that.
something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Like, we're not here just ticking fucking boxes.
Yeah.
It just can't happen. I'm not having it. I will not be that guy.
Yeah.
And you can hate me and you can be pissed off about it and all that shit. I didn't have a single participation trophy. If we won, we fucking won.
Mhm.
If we didn't win, we lost.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I have a lot of trophies from a lot of games where we smoke fools. And I have a lot of fucking accolades that when cricket became an end, put all that shit in the trash. My dad's like, you don't want it? I was like, that's the old me, bro. Who cares?
Yeah.
This is the new version now. I can be that guy that sits on a sofa and talks about how great I was when I was
Used to be.
18.
Yeah.
Or I can be the guy that says, you know what, I had a really fucking good day today. I made $5,000 today. I did this. I did that. I did this.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of hearing the when-we's of the fucking world.
Yeah.
Oh, when I was at college. Yeah, bro, when you were at college, you were at All-Star States or whatever, and now you're 400 pounds? Who fucking cares?
No, nobody.
No one.
Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. You're embarrassed by you. That's why you have to talk about the old you, because the new you sucks. And instead of doing something about it, you just revert back to old ways
Yeah.
and talk about who you used to be. I'm about who I am today. And that's why I hate, like, when everyone's like, oh, tell me about yourself. I'm like, well, this is who I am now. And they're like, oh, how did you get here? Doesn't matter. I'm here now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I got more degrees in a thermometer. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's who I am today. It's how I show up today. And then it's how I show up tomorrow.
Every single day.
Every day, 1% better than the day before. And over fucking a decade, that shit adds up real nice. And that, again, is the dividends of fucking discipline. It's just like, just pay your dues.
Yeah. I love how you mentioned the whole participation trophy, because one more question that I had a bunch of questions for you I already asked. You had, I think it was last week or week before that, when you talked to the group during one of our calls, you talked about competition.
Right.
And I believe I challenged you a little bit, but I think I understood your process, because you said about don't try to compete with anybody else. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think what you meant to say is don't try to compete with somebody else's life, because we talked about this earlier. Everybody wants somebody's life,
Right.
but they don't want the fucking grind behind the closed doors. And I said, that while all that's 100% true, me personally, I think men need to bring back a sense of competition.
Sure.
Because that's a powerful driving fucking force. Like, I'm good at creating enemies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's enemy that you emotionally, passionately hate, or enemy that, for example, like me and you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I consider you my enemy, but not in a bad way. Like,
Sure.
You're my enemy in the sense that you fucking shredded, your workouts are on point. Like, I want to be like Byron.
Okay.
We're in the same space. We make each other better.
Yeah.
But I put you as a target person.
Yeah.
And I have guys who said something to me back in the days. I was like, this motherfucker disrespecting me, and I'm going to fucking crush. I'll make more money. I'll look better than he is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's defined that competition, not compete against somebody and their life versus having a sense of competition to succeed in life.
So I think there's levels to the game, right? Like anything, you have your white belts and then you go all the way to black belts. And I think most people, especially those people that were on that Wednesday call, they're still very much in that white belt space. And they're so worried about what you're doing, what I'm doing, what everyone else is doing, that it paralyzes them.
Yeah.
Because they see, oh, he's on level 50. I'm on level 1. I can never get there. It's like, bro, you don't have to fucking compete with me, because you can't. And that's not me being arrogant. That's just me being honest. You cannot compete. You're not in the same place. Don't worry about it. That's cool. Compete with you and the version of you that you were yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to a point where you start climbing that ladder. And then it definitely becomes beneficial to have your enemies, and it definitely becomes very beneficial to start competing with certain individuals. But I think for the most part, what most people do is they're competing too far ahead of where they are today. And because it's so far away, they then use that as an excuse to not do the work or to half-ass the work. Of course, Byron's got abs. He's been doing this for a decade or whatever. It's like, well, of course, Alex is a stud. He's fucking SWAT operator. He's this, he's that. I could never be that, so I'm not even going to try. You don't have to be that today. You just have to be better than you were yesterday. And if you compete with the version you were yesterday every day, and you just beat him every day, you get to a point where all of a sudden, like, we've closed the gap. And then that last photo shoot, you came in fucking dick skin abs, dude, like peeled out. Yeah, you weren't as big as you wanted to be, but we torched pretty much all the fat off your body.
Yeah.
Like, you were fucking peeled out. Now we're in a growth phase, and then you'll peel out again. So now you're in a position where we can talk about competing with each other and playing that game. And it's healthy competition at that point. But before that, we weren't even in the same realm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think that's where most people get it wrong. They're trying to be Ed Milet. They're trying to be Andy Frisella. Dude, Andy Frisella slept on a piss-stained mattress for like 8 years in the back of one of his shops. You see him now with billions of dollars and a fucking absolute conglomerate of an organization. Like, the dude is killing the fucking supplement space. And that's what people know about him. They don't even know the other chains of his business that he doesn't talk about. And they see that and they're like, oh, I want to be that. Dude, you forget that he slept on a mattress for 8 years in the back of a fucking, like, one store.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, let's get clear on who we're competing with first. And then once you've got to a certain level, then, yeah, dude, I've told you, I've got a Rolodex of people that I stamp on their throats every day. And I make sure I remind myself that I'm stamping on their throats every day.
Yeah.
But they were so far ahead of me at one point that if I was trying to stamp on their throats, I couldn't. And then it just meant that I failed more and more and more. And that wasn't healthy for me either. Like, I learn from failure, but if you fail every day and you just remind yourself that you fucking suck every day, that also is not good. So it's like, okay, I just have to beat me, and then I have to beat me and beat me, beat me. Before you know it, you've closed the gap on everyone. And then it's like, oh, remember when that guy used to say this shit? Look at him now. Look at his Instagram. He's fat as fuck, and I'm rolling with abs. Dope. So I'm not even competing with him anymore because it doesn't matter. We're not even playing the same game. Like, he's over there. He's in the rearview mirror. But if I had focused on him the whole time, he would probably still be ahead. Mm-hmm. Because I would have done just enough. I wouldn't have pushed myself. I wouldn't have worked as hard as I should have done. And I would have stayed within a comfort zone. Versus, dude, you know this. If you shoot for a PR every day, by day 5, day 6, that shit's fucking hard. Yeah. There's nothing comfortable about it. So when you start doing that consistently over a long period of time, and you're not going to PR every day. Let's not put that into the universe because people will hurt themselves. But when you start doing that and you stop pacing with mediocre people, because that's what most people are, mediocre. Then all of a sudden, now your time collapse, and then now you can start looking at the 1% of the 1% and be like, I want that. But Wes Watson makes 80 grand a day, bro. Like, me trying to do that now, when I'm satisfied with the 5 grand a day, that's like, shit. There's levels. Yeah. I got to do 10 grand a day first, and then 15, and then 20. And then when I'm at like 60, now I can start hunting him down a bit better.
But then the guy also spent 10 years in the penitentiary, and he started what he's doing right now in the penitentiary. Correct. And now 4 years later, he's killing it. So, correct. Like we talked about earlier, you want somebody's life, but you don't want the shit that comes with it. Right. You know, I just want to be better than I was last year. Right. For the next photo shoot, I want to be better than in the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And that's what it is. I think there's a saying that goes, work hard and stay disciplined until your, I guess, role models become your competitors. Yeah. And that's important.
Yeah. Your mentors become your competitors.
It's funny because I was just thinking about it the other day when we started that 12-week challenge in Gogi, right? The first 3 days I was behind because I had to do the core medical. So you know how the 2-3 days before the test you can't work out, you have to fast. So and you guys throwing the challenge. I'm like, fuck, man. So the first 3 days I was like way on the bottom, right? And then slowly do like you said, doing everything, 20, 23, 21, 19, 18, 15. I'm number 4 now. I have 3 more guys to beat. Number 4, 5 more guys. But I love those guys. Great guys. Like even Sean Corcoran texted me that. I'm like, bro, get back. Like, fucking stay back, dude. I'm like, I'm coming for you, bro. Right. And I'll beat him, and I'll beat the next guy and the next guy. And they're not my enemies, great guys, but it's having that target and doing this shit every day, every day. It gets you there. Exactly. So you're not lying. It's not hard, but it's not, complicated. Right. It's simple.
Yeah, simple, not easy.
Not easy.
Yeah. And I didn't understand that. And one of my mentors when I was still financial consulting, his name was David Toomey. Dude's fucking genius of a man. Like, our man was printing paper, like very good consultant. And he's like, none of this is hard. He's like, this is all very simple, but it's not easy. Yeah. And he's like, never mix up the two. And then he had to explain it to me. And it's basically like, simple is basically, you know what needs to be done. It's not easy because the shit that has to be done is boring, mundane, not enjoyable. But he's like, when you get very good at the simple stuff, and you get to a point where you can literally simplify an organization and cut away all the noise, he's like, that's where the real money's at. And that's what we used to do. We used to come into a bank and we'd look at it, and there'd be 500 processes that were all fucked up, and there was 400 people on payroll that did basically nothing. It's like, once we untangled the web of bullshit, it's like, bro, these guys here, if they all died, nothing changes. So why are they here?
Yeah, how are you paying
These
them?
15 processes don't matter to this outcome. So why are we doing them? And you start removing the pieces, and you're like, oh, boom, that's your trajectory. Shortest path from here to there is this, and you remove all of these, and you remove all of those, and it's like, oh, these guys are geniuses. No, we just simplified.
Simplify things.
To the point where we called it an alien abduction manual, and that's not unique to us, but it's like, I think it's just a common term across financial consultants in general. But it's like, if someone like zipped me out of the world, could I pull someone off the street, give them this manual, and they would know exactly what to do? And that's all we did. We just created some stupid, simple manuals.
Yeah.
Like, this is how you log in. This is how you run this process. This macro does that. This does that. This software you use for this, that, and the other. Go.
This is what I love about the Gogi former Battle Ready, because when I started with you guys was Battle Ready, you guys simplified shit.
Yeah.
It's work, but you guys simplified it. So to me, it was like, okay, I can do this. I can take cold shower. I can count my macros. Like, I'm just gonna stick with it.
Right.
It wasn't no fucking pill. It wasn't no secret, formula. You simplified it. You gave it to me, and results came.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Because we can complicate it, man, and this is what most people do, and I think it's done on purpose. Because if I can overcomplicate something to where it becomes unsustainable, now I give myself multiple outs. Oh, you don't understand, Alex. I've got to cook 7 meals a day, and they can't all be the same. And this one has to have this many grams of rice, and this one has to have this many grains of fucking quinoa, and blah, blah, blah. And you give yourself 700 opportunities to quit. Versus me, I'm like, bro, I pretty much eat the same thing every day. I keep it simple. I have my multivitamins. I have the same supplements every day. I run the same play and the same process every day. It's not hard. And once you take away the noise and all the like the fluff and the things that make it look fancy, you don't have to eat like a Michelin star restaurant every day, man. You just eat your chicken, your steak, your fish, your rice, your sweet potatoes, your red skin potatoes, whatever your food journal dictates to you is the food that serves you best. And you remove all the other shit, bro, now you're running at 500 miles an hour and you feel good all the time because you're eating foods that are a 5. So your energy's up there because it's the foods that your body likes and processes the best. And then, oh my God, the results start coming in as well. Holy shit. Byron's a genius. No, he's 100%. Not. Byron's a mad scientist. No, he's not. He just simplifies the stupid shit that the internet has told you is complicated for so long. And again, it's all part of the game of, if I can make this too difficult for average Joe to understand, they become dependent on me. And it's a good business model. It will keep me getting paid for a very long time. But my goal is not to coach you forever. My goal is to get you to a point where you do it on your own. And then you're like, deuces, Byron, I'm out. And then you bring a friend.
No, I told Nate before, like, I can quit the program and I'll still be fine.
For sure.
I choose to be part of the tribe. And what I appreciate is because you guys it's a simple blueprint that you guys provide, and you can do it and you can follow it. So it's a good system. Good system.
And I think that's where the secret sauce is. It's like, how do you simplify something to where it's borderline like idiot proof. And then it's like, okay, I understand me. I understand what wins. I know how to do it. And then you just run the play. And then like, now you're in it for the community and whatever, and because you get to mentor other people and you get to learn and leverage and make new contexts. And there's a lot of guys in the Agogi that make a lot of money and are very successful in real estate spaces that you're involved in, and now you get to network with them, and then you get to give them value in terms of the shit that you've learned, and they get to give you value in return, and it's like it's a win-win all around. But if we overcomplicate shit and it's like, oh, it's hard work, you don't get to have that tribe off the back because everyone's working too hard just trying to do the basics. And then they don't have time for everything else.
No, I definitely agree with you. Listen, man, I mean, we can talk for hours, and you provided so much value to me and my listeners. But the one thing I always like to ask before I close out, this is kind of the question I close out all my episodes with, right? What is the purpose of life And how do you find purpose? Because for the longest time, I struggled with finding my purpose. That's
Right.
when I was doing all the dumb shit that I thought was cool, but
Mhm.
in reality, I was just fucking ruining my own life
Yeah.
until I found my purpose. So I have my way. What is Byron's version of that? Like, what is the purpose, and how can a man find it?
It's a phenomenal question. Honestly, man, this is one that I'm probably struggling with at the moment because I thought I knew what my purpose was. I was like, my goal for the longest time was I'm going to help 1 million men live healthier, fitter, stronger lives. And I was like beating that drum. But I realized that not everyone wants that. And not everyone wants to live that life. And not everyone wants that outcome. So it's like, okay, well, if I'm so attached to, again, that external of making other people do something that they might not even want to do themselves, why do I exist? And this is something that I'm like mulling over and I'm working on now, because that's why I'm talking about like the more mindfulness, the meditation, like doing the deeper work again, because I don't know if I have the answer to that one anymore. I thought I did. I truly did. I thought I did. And now I'm like, there's more to this. There's layers. And we need to kind of do some deep work again and figure it out, because it's also, this space is a space where anyone with half a brain can fucking be a coach. The amount of people that I've coached that are now coaching people, and they just take the Byron blueprints and they run it as their own blueprints, is obscene. So you get to a point where you're like, okay, well, I'm making an impact because I fixed them and now they're fixing people. So there's already that ripple that's happening. That's cute and all, but it isn't what lights me up anymore. So I need to figure out what that new thing is. And seeing my son win, seeing my daughter win, seeing my wife win, that shit lights me up. But it's super like close knit, if you know what I mean. It's like it's too close to home to have a broader impact. So how do I get that same feeling and that excitement of watching them do their thing while still also doing my thing? So I think we were talking about this before the cameras were on and stuff. I'm going to dive into the financial side of things again. I'm going to explore that option. But in terms of just like purpose in general, find shit you enjoy doing and do more of it. Regardless of whether you're getting paid or not, I think it's important to do more of it. Like, I started getting back into cooking. There was a time when I wanted to be a chef, and then I worked in a kitchen for like 60 days, and I was like, fuck being a chef. This is stupid.
I had no idea you were into cooking, bro. I
Bro,
was surprised.
I'm a phenomenal cook. Ask my wife. My wife's like, how the fuck do you know how to cook all this shit? I'm like, lady, I was going to be a chef. Like, when I'm in.
Yeah.
So I know how to cook. I'm a phenomenal cook. So I'm back into cooking, and I cook most nights, and that's like my thing that I do, that I get to show love, where it's not moving any kind of needle in terms of money and stuff. It just like fills my cup a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you find your purpose, is in like filling your own cup and doing the things that work for you and that serve you and make you happy, because I can't provide happiness if I'm not happy myself. I can't provide respect if I don't respect me. I can't provide love if I don't love me first. So all of the stuff that I do and my entire routine is around building the dude that I respect, love, admire, all of that stuff first. And then it's like, cool, now I have all of this to give others. I can't give which I don't have. Yeah. So I have to do me first. And I think that's where purpose comes in. It's like, do all of that stuff first, and then you can gift it to everyone else. And you won't know what that is until you've tried a lot of stuff. And I've done a lot of jobs that I hated. Yeah. Tree surgeon, killing animals. Fucking the list goes on, dude. I've had more jobs than I think most people have had. So I know a lot of the stuff that I don't like doing, and then I know a lot of the stuff that I do like doing. And that's the stuff that kind of gives you a little bit more purpose.
Yeah. That's well said, man. But that's well said.
I'm trying to, Byron 3.0, he's figuring it out.
I love the honesty of it, man.
Yeah.
That means a lot. Just you honest about the fact, you're not giving no bullshit. So
I could just lie and say, I'm still driven by like making men healthy, but I'm not.
But knowing you, I know you, that came from the heart.
Yeah. Okay. Can I be honest? Yeah. And you can cut this piece off if you want, because like I'm just going to tell you a story.
Nothing's getting cut, man. Please.
Fucking send it. Okay, cool. So a changing point for me was a conversation I had 2 weeks ago. And this young 18-year-old kid signs up for the Agogi. He doesn't sign up. He signs up to have a consulting call. So him and I are going back and forth. And he's like, he's miserable. And he's like, I'm thinking about like offing myself. I'm like, how old are you? You sound like you're 12. He's like, I'm 18 years old. I've just gone through the worst breakup of my life.
Oh,
I'm like, motherfucker, you're 18. Okay, let's start there. And he's like, yeah, and I'm super fat and I'm unfulfilled. And he's like listing off all of his problems. And I said to him, what are you doing about all of this stuff? I'm doing nothing. So I said, okay, talk me through your routine. Like, what does a day look like for you? I wake up at like 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. Okay. And then what do you do? Well, then I turn on my computer and I game. Why? I'm going to be a professional gamer. I said, how many people watch your stream? Oh, I'm not streaming. So you're not streaming, you're just playing games all day. Yes. How are you going to be a professional gamer if you're not streaming and you're not putting yourself out there? Well, I have to be good first. So you're not even good at gaming yet. No. Who's funding all this shit for you? My parents. Okay, cool. And then what do? Well, I play games all day. I just eat like whatever DoorDash gets delivered to the house. And then I like game until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I go to sleep and I rinse and repeat. And I'm like, and you're shocked that you're unfulfilled, you're miserable, you're depressed, and and he's gay guy, and your boyfriend dumped you because you got nothing going for you. He's like, well, you don't understand. It's different for me, Mom. I'm fat because I'm gay.
What?
I'm like, oh, hold up. I've got more degrees than a thermometer. So, and this is one that I've never come across in my life. So explain to me how this makes sense.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you don't understand. My metabolism's different because I'm gay. I'm like, bro, the fact that you like penis and not vagina doesn't change your metabolism.
Oh my God.
Like, you have to want to change.
Yeah.
You don't think that it could be that you're in a fucking dungeon all day, stuck behind a computer screen, not moving your ass and eating anything that DoorDash will deliver. You don't think that could be the problem? You truly have marked it down to the fact that you're gay. And he's like, yes, because my mom told me that.
Oh God.
I'm like, oh my fucking God. And this is the conversation that I'm having. And I'm having conversations like this repeatedly over and over again. Same bullshit excuse. Oh, you don't understand. It's different. It's hard for me because of X, Y, Z. Oh, it's hard for me because my mom didn't love me. My dad didn't love me. Insert whatever excuse here. And I'm like, you're a 40, like most of the people we speak to are 30s, 40s, 50s. I'm like, you're a 40-year-old man or a 50-year-old man still blaming your mom for your fucking problems, or blaming your dad for your problems. You've been away from your house for 30 plus years and you're still blaming your parents. How fucking sad. And that's what, like, for me, it's just like, I can only have so many of those conversations. Yeah. It takes the wind out of my sails, dude. And it's depleting, where I'm like, you're not fat because you're gay. You're fat because you're stupid. And you do a bunch of stupid shit. And you've given up on life already at 18 years old. And the probability is that you're probably going to live to like 90. So you still got 70 years on this earth. And you're fucking it up. And you're blaming someone else. Or something else. And by the way, being gay is your choice. Like, me wanting to have sex with my wife and liking vagina is my choice. You liking penis is your choice. That has nothing to do with our metabolisms.
Yeah.
So let's not fucking go down that road. Right?
Oh, that's funny.
You're choosing a bunch of stupid shit.
Yeah.
And you're blaming everyone else. But then again, you look at it and it's like, well, that's what's been orchestrated.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is blaming everyone else for their problems. No one takes a good hard look in the mirror and goes, I'm fat because I eat fucking 3 large pizzas a day. Which was the conversation that I had. I think I told you this before. Stood in the mirror naked. And I like ripped myself apart. You're fucking fat. You're disgusting. I wouldn't want to have sex with you either. And I listed out all the shit. And for like 15 minutes, I ripped myself apart. And then I pulled up my bank accounts. And I did exactly the same thing again. And then I took a photo of me in my fucking white underwear. And I stuck it on the mirror. And I put all the measurements on the back. And I committed. I was like, I will never be this fucking guy again. Yeah. Come hell or high water, I will never be this again. No one wants to do that anymore. No one wants to be honest with themselves, and no one wants to tell the truth anymore. Like, hey man, you're fucking fat. Stop being a fat fuck. Make some good choices. You say that, and now you're fat phobic, or now you're an arsehole, or now you're not a true friend. No, your true friend is not the guy that tells you that you're fat and you should change. That is your true friend. Your true friend is the guy that is honest with you. The guys that are allowing you to do your stupid shit and kill yourself slowly, they're not your fucking friend. And you can be as pissed off as you want on the other end of the phone, and the amount of people who threaten to fight me and come and fucking kill me and find me.
Internet
and I'm
haters.
like, bro, you're not ready for that. Because the only way you kill me is if you sit on me. And even then, you have to catch me first. Like, you're fucking 400 pounds. You're not catching shit other than diabetes.
Keyboard warriors.
And it's just like, bro, you have so many of these conversations, and then you realize that, again, people don't want to change. They don't want the results. They like the idea of it, but they don't want the work that comes with it. And then when you've built your entire purpose around that, and you realize that I can't control you and what you put in your face or whether you work out today, and I'm so attached to the outcome of whether you do it or not, it's fucking stupid, bro.
And now I see how it can drain you. Now
Dead.
I can really see, bro.
And then I come home bitter and angry again, and my wife's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I'm just so disappointed with humanity as a whole. Like, I speak to the bottom of the barrel all day. I had one guy who has 4 fucking kids, and he's like, I like my dog more than my kids, and I think I'm going to give up my kids, and I'm just going to move me and my dog to Kentucky.
You gotta be kidding me, man.
Swear to God. And I'm like, are you shitting me, bro? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, my kids are nothing but a drain on me. I'm like, what do you do for your kids? You're 300 and some change pounds, and you sit on the sofa drinking beer all day. So of course your dog loves you more, because your dog's the only thing that has unconditional love for you. You bring nothing to the table. You bring no value. So your kids are fucking embarrassed by you. They don't want to be seen with you. They don't want to hang out with you because they want nothing to do with you, because you bring nothing to the fucking table. It's very simple. As dudes, if we don't bring shit to the table, we have no value.
Yeah.
We bring something to the table, we are now valuable. The zombie apocalypse kicks off tomorrow. I'm finding guys like you because you have fucking skill sets. You're finding guys like me because I have fucking skill sets.
100%.
And we're going to take over the fucking zombie apocalypse.
Yep.
I'm not about to bring some guy who brings nothing to the table and fucking feed him and keep him alive just because. Simple as that. Women and children, we will do that for.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing that for another man.
No.
And that's what people are forgetting. So he's like all pissed off about the fact that only his dog loves him. Bro, only your dog can love you.
Yeah.
That's the reality. Only your dog can. And you tell someone that, and they're pissed and upset and heartsore. It's like, I'm the only one that's honest with these people. And
I think
again,
that's why me and you get along. To
right.
keep it real.
You attach yourself to outcomes that I have no control over. I can't control whether that guy decides to be a better father. He didn't sign up for the program, so we both know he's not. He probably is already halfway to Kentucky with his fucking dog. And it's like, why? I can't control that, and I'm so desperate to have him change and be a better father, better husband, better man in general. And I'm so attached to that outcome, and I can't do anything about it.
You set yourself up for disappointment.
Constant.
Yeah. Because you care.
I do give a fuck.
Yeah.
I have such a high give a fuck factor.
Yeah, you do. Damn, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. This guy just literally gave you a blueprint on how to change your fucking life. I'm one of your clients.
Yes, sir.
You know, it works.
Yes,
Living proof that it works. And, you know, he can get you in shape, not only physically, but also your mind. All you got to do is just fucking listen. Okay, follow the blueprint. And again, if you guys are interested, make sure to find this guy, Byron Ovenstone. Find him on Instagram.
Yes,
I'll drop the link on all my platforms.
Thank you.
If you want to change your life, you go to the project, find this guy, okay? If you want a sadistic person who yells at you and tells you to be a better fucking person, find this guy. So no matter what, you know, get connected with him. And yeah, man, I appreciate you being here, brother. Thank you. I know you got a busy day.
Thank you so much for having me.
You dropped a ton of knowledge, man.
Appreciate
That was
it.
awesome. If you guys liked this episode, and I'm sure you fucking did, and you better, please like, click, subscribe, and share this to other dudes out there, girls too if you want. They can change their life. They want to change their life. But please, make sure you want to change your life.
Yeah.
You don't waste his time and drain his energy.
Yeah, exactly.
That was awesome,
well
bro.
said, sir. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you for being
We'll
here.
do
Man.
this again sometime.
100%.
Cheers, guys.